There might not be another team that knows how to draft like the Seattle Seahawks. Since 2010, with Pete Carroll and John Schneider, this team has been elite at drafting talent. And no, it's not just been first-round guys. Actually, the first and second round was usually the toughest one for them to draft, even though we did get a couple gems. But let me tell you why I thought about this today. In a few moments, I'm going to break down some of the best draft picks the Seahawks have had since 2010, because it's really impressive. And I don't think there's another team in the NFL that can be this accurate at drafting in the late rounds. But the reason I thought of this was because today the Seahawks beat the Arizona Cardinals 19-9. And one of the biggest reasons the Seahawks won and are at 3-3 in what many thought was a rebuilding year without Russell Wilson is because of the rookie draft class. Cornerback Tariq Woolen, he has 4 picks in the last 4 games. He even had a fumble recovery. And the reason he got that fumble recovery was because of rookie corner Kobe Bryant, who actually forced the fumble, who's also playing good football. On top of that, the Seahawks have Kenneth Walker, as many know him, K9, who is now the starting running back for the Seahawks after Rashad Penny got hurt for the year. And why is Kenneth Walker having so much success in the run game? The 2 rookie offensive linemen, Charles Cross and Abraham Lucas. The Seahawks know how to draft. Now, they had some success in the first and second round, so it's not like it's only been late round picks. But you have guys like Bobby Wagner being drafted in the second round, who turns out to be one of the best linebackers of the generation and of the last 20 or 30 years. In that same draft, in the 3rd round with the 75th pick, they got Russell Wilson, the guy who won a Super Bowl as quarterback for him, the guy who got traded to Denver but just signed a $250 million contract. He's likely going to be a Hall of Famer. The Seahawks picked that man up in the 3rd round. John Schneider and Pete Carroll know what they're doing. They had set themselves up the 2 years before. Yeah, it was in the early parts of the draft, but in 2010, in their first year, they drafted Russell Okung and Earl Thomas in the 1st round. And they also found a way to get a guy like Cam Chancellor in the 5th round. Yes, Cam Chancellor, one of the hardest pieces to the LOB, one of the best defenses of all time. And in 2011, they had a ridiculous amount of success again. In the 4th round with the 99th pick, they picked up KJ Wright, who ended up being a Seahawks legend himself. With pick 154, they got Richard Sherman. Yes, the Richard Sherman, Pro Bowler, Hall of Fame corner, with some of the biggest moments in Seahawks history. And then in the 6th round, all the way at 173, the Seahawks took Byron Maxwell, who is actually a great piece to the Seahawks defense, a very underrated piece, and even made the cover of Sports Illustrated as one of the Legion of Boom guys. Last but not least, in 2011, it wasn't even the draft. They got Doug Baldwin as an undrafted free agent. Doug Baldwin turned out to be one of the best 5 receivers in Seahawks history, an extremely underrated receiver overall, and was part of a Super Bowl winning team in Seattle. Now, it's been a few years since they probably picked up another superstar in the draft, but we didn't really need it. We did win a Super Bowl, and we went to another Super Bowl, but now it looks like in 2022, the Seahawks might be going back to the team that used to draft Pro Bowlers and superstars in the 4th, 5th, 6th round. This rookie class is elite, and I think it's only going to get better. The Seahawks have a lot of draft picks coming up, and I think we're prepped for the future. We just need another quarterback after a year or 2 of Geno Smith, and we might be looking at a team that's going back to a Super Bowl again.